Hello, everybody. It's V from Lifestyle V Finance. Today, I welcome back Jeff White. And I think Jeff White has been very supportive to us all over, the last 6 months, probably, with some valuable information. So I leave it to Jeff White for a brief introduction. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Fee. Great to be with you again, and always a pleasure to run through property data and what's going on in the marketplace. And I hope what we do it helps people with their decision making. So, yeah, good to be with you again, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And I think there has been so many changes in the property market recently. And we are very fortunate now in Victoria to have so many changes around us. So I might start with the first question. Like over the last month, how have the values in the capital cities fared across the nation?
Yeah, this is very interesting. The data that we get from CoreLogic Australia shows up until the end of November that we've seen every capital city show some growth. That is every capital city from the north to the south to the east to the west. So it's fantastic news for Australia generally.
Yes.
Very seldom do you actually see every capital city seeing positive growth all at the same time. So it ranges from Sydney at 0.4%. Right up to 1.9% for Darwin and Canberra. So over the last months, we've definitely seen a turnaround in the market, and the numbers are starting to show that. So this could be a really good stepping stone into 2021, I think. So the month's statistic very positive on the home buying front, and a good opportunity for buyers and sellers, I'd say.
Yes, totally agree with you. Now, looking back over the last 12 months, how have the capital city dwelling values gone?
Yeah. Look, as we know, the best thing to do when you're looking at property values is not necessarily look at them in isolation of 1 month. Looking at what's happening over a quarter or a year is really the way to go. So what we've seen during the last 12 months is obviously the COVID months, which impacted the property market, and particularly Melbourne and Sydney, and Melbourne very heavily during that lockdown period. But having said all of that, we've seen a 3.1% growth nationally over the year for house prices, and the only capital city to show a decline over a 12-month period is Melbourne, and that would be really isolated down to that lockdown period. But it's only a decline over 12 months of 0.9%. So when you think about when we were coming into this period, the COVID period in particular, a lot of forecasters were saying the market was going to crash. There was going to be 10, 20, I think I even heard 30% decline in the market. Well, the fact is we haven't seen that. And the property market's been very resilient. Exactly.
Yes. Now, the regional areas seem to have done very well. Why would this be, you think?
Yeah, the regions have been in the news a lot, and across the nation, we've seen over the last 12 months a 5.7% growth in the regional areas, and most of the regions are seeing more growth than the capital cities. For instance, regional Tasmania over 10% growth in the last year, and even the likes of regional WA. A year ago wasn't performing that well, but in the last month, it saw over 1%. Why is that? I think people are seeing value in the regions. A lot of the capital cities are very expensive to buy in, particularly Melbourne and Sydney. And people are saying, well, gee, do I need to be in the capital city? I could be an hour out of Sydney or Melbourne. I can now work from home a lot more than I could. And that's one thing COVID's done is make sure that we can adapt to these situations and work from home. And people are saying, well, look, I might be able to get a better property, bigger property for less money if I just move that little bit further out. So the likes of Ballarat and Bendigo in Victoria and, Wollongong and these sorts of locations in New South Wales have done exceptionally well. And that's, I think, the primary reason why the regions are doing well. Value for money.
Yes, because I think the way everyone works now, we just need our laptop and everything is pretty much the system, pretty much online. And I think COVID has shown us that whether we, in many industries, we can work remotely. And I think that's a
Yes.
plus, because we all have to adapt to technology as well.
Correct. That's exactly right. Yes. And we've all done it pretty well, really. And thanks to the likes of this Zoom, we wouldn't, we can
Yes.
do this at the drop of a hat, whereas you'd have to plan it if you had to catch up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's more efficient and effective as well. Time management, yes.
Yes, exactly right. Yes.
Yes. Probably another question. So it really shows that property hasn't been impacted like many thought it would be during the COVID period, doesn't it?
No, yeah, that's my point. And I think, whilst I respect a lot of the forecasters and what they say, they're very respected people, but really to get an assessment of what's going on in the market, you're best to talk to people that are at the coalface, whether they're estate agents selling or buying, or mortgage brokers, lending, and they get a real sense of what's going on in the market almost on a day by day, week by week basis. And certainly, whilst the COVID was a period that we've never dealt with before, and there was a lot of, guesstimation, I guess, in relation to that, it's certainly shown that the property market, through thick and thin, will put you in good stead for the future. And it certainly didn't see what we thought it would see. A lot of the agents were a bit pessimistic, but they're really now super optimistic with the way it's going. So, yeah, we did learn a lot. That's right.
Yes. So as we can clearly see the bounce back in October and November, do you think this will follow on into 2021?
Yeah, and I think this is a really good point, because during the COVID period, Sydney didn't have the hard lockdown, and it was still ticking over, albeit with some restrictions. So their market wasn't as severely impacted as Melbourne, that went into the severe lockdown. Now, after the lockdown, the Melbourne market it's like pent up demand from buyers and sellers, and the activity is very, very strong. What that seems to be doing is it's setting a bit of a trend, and I think December will be very similar to November, and I anticipate, whilst it's holiday season, January could actually be quite a strong month. So certainly in the early part of next year, I believe the market will continue in much the same sort of vein as it is. There's some economic factors that we need to consider about the job keeper, job seeker wind back in March, April. So that could have an impact on employment. But while the interest rates are at the rate they are, history shows that when you have very, very low interest rates, the property market can drive through tougher times. So I don't think there's going to be too much change going into next year. And so as a result of that, if you're thinking of buying, I think it's a great time to get into the market now. Because it's not going to dip next year. It could continue the way it is. And if you're selling, I think there's a great opportunity, because there's plenty of buyers, as you would know.
Totally agree with you. So I think you've done very well. You've given us some valuable information, insight, and also some good points to note today. That how the market is tracking, and how things are changing rapidly, and also we have big support for our clients. And also moving forward, like you said, January, we all anticipate, even real estate, even brokers or lenders, that it's going to be very, very busy and very hectic already for us. But the trend will continue, and I think probably we need to touch base in January, mid-January, and we'll see how the market is tracking, Geoff.
Yes, we'll have some data from December in January, so we'll be able to gauge this a little bit more. But happy to do that, and look forward to catching up with you in January.
Yeah, we have been very steady, and you have been very thorough, and we have been supporting our audience and our clients. And I thank you dearly and sincerely for all your efforts. And I wish you a wonderful Christmas, a safe Christmas, and also we'll touch base then in January. So thank you kindly, Geoff.
Same to you, V. All the very best for Christmas, and we look forward to a fantastic 2021. And well done on the work you're doing to support your customers and clients and viewers. Yeah, thanks, V.
Thank you kindly, much appreciated. And thank you, everybody. Take care, and wish you all the best. And thank you, Geoff. Thank you.
Thank you.